guys, so this month I'm turning 38 years old, and I definitely want to dedicate my video especially to share with my life experience, as someone who have been living on earth for a couple years, more than maybe some of you who are listening, would be insightful, beneficial, and valuable. Anyway, so long story short, I definitely would recommend someone to go through some hard stuff, hard things. When I was younger, I didn't like hard things. I like candy who was softer. I like everything softer, easier. But as I came from entrepreneurship, came from like a real solid life experience from marketplace, from couple breakups, from like disappointment in life, or even loved ones pass away, anyway, I definitely, looking back, would suggest and think going through some hard stuff actually good for me, as an individual, as my capacity grow. Give you like a real solid examples, like babies, how babies start to learn. Well, when I check out my nephews and some kids, for those, they speak well, they actually need this muscle around, the jaw to be well developed. So for their pronunciation be accurate, And I have seen some babies, they may not speaking so well, or when they try to pronounce it, it's somewhat far from accuracy, And when I talk to the parents and, sort of studying about, how they grew up, for those baby, they tend not to speak well, they were not well developed in this area for the muscles, and they tend to have the tendency not to like to chew hard stuff like solid food, or like sucking, whether from a milk bottle or from the mother's breast. The energy and the technique, the skills, and the resistance for like a baby to excel is so different. So since the beginning of the time, when we were born and when we were growing up, the test already there. And, for those, they like to flip over and they get to have like a stronger muscle. They're able to build their, the spine. And so they can really do well in the late life. So anyway, apart from baby, what about exercise? As you are someone like about 30 years old, especially ladies, we tend to lose muscle from 3 to 8% for every single decade. So literally, if we want to excel well in our later life, or if we want to look younger, at our age, we need muscles. We definitely need like the proactive muscles for helping us to burn the extra calories, to boost our metabolism, to really cleanse, the toxin out. We definitely need these precious muscles. And how muscle being built, from weightlifting and resistance training. So we need to go through some hard stuff. And in my career, I was being like a health coach previously, and when I did the in-body with my clients, and I realized that for those who intentionally either they intentionally do like weightlifting in their workout, or for those elderly group, they were involved into hardcore stuff because of the career in the marketplace. They were obligated to do the lifting naturally, for those who need to serve, to push the trolley, anything that require physical exercise. Yes, they tend to have better muscles and tend to have a better energy level compared to the group. They rely on office job and they sit all day and they are not very active in their private life for exercising. So anyway, so this is really crucial for us, if we want to gain the strength and the endurance and to support our overall life quality. It really matters more as you grow older. And that's why we need to engage in hard stuff and not to be resistant over it. But what about, to learn a conversation, to learn to raise a difficult conversation, or to handle difficult people, or to handle with, tough situation that you were under so much stress? Again, well, depends on the context. Not every difficult person or every difficult situation or difficult conversation worth to pursue, but I'm just talking about in general, like, overcome it, the difficult life circumstances, people that you deal with, and also the conversation that you have to engage. Afterwards, when you look back, you actually gain your capacity. Just like a ship, when there is like a stormy sea and you are on your kayak, then you tend to be, putting yourself in a very difficult situation. Your life is being threatened. But imagine that if you are staying in like a yacht or like a giant boat, like really huge, like the largest one, to keep up all the stocks in tons of weight. The stormy sea won't bother you too much. Well, you might struggle, but you will still keep on floating instead of like turning upside down and putting your life at risk. So I'm talking about that, having yourself being trained up to be like a solid boat, like a solid giant boat, then increasing your capacity of endurance, tolerance level, then wherever life throws to you in later years, I definitely want to assure you that the challenges will be more as you excel in later life. So we cannot really avoid doing the hard things, meeting the difficult people, handling difficult situation, especially if you're like parents, you need to raise children, or like a business owner, you build up a business, or even you are more senior in your marketplace, you start to have to manage a lot of hardcore stuff, right? So I am suggesting on my birthday month, don't afraid of doing hard things. You will be thankful for that. But also, I'm not ignoring the fact that going through it is really painful. But trust in the Lord, because the scripture did say that, the grace of the Lord is sufficient for you and me. So literally everything that we handle in our life, we are called and we are being equipped and empowered to overcome it. So stay strong. I hope this video would be useful, inspiring for you. Leave me a comment